you have what, and many near-death experiencers come back with an extrasensory perception, the sixth sense, these abilities of premonition, telepathy, spirit guides. It sounds like you have a lot of that. So here's a question for you. How would you define, in your terms, God or this other realm? How would you define it?
I don't believe that God is a separate entity. I believe God is a consciousness that we are part of. It's a living, intelligent entity that we are like the drops of the ocean. So when we drop ourselves into that ocean, we become part of that water. You don't see the individual drops in an ocean. So we can obviously come out of that ocean to be that individual drop, but we're always connected to that ocean. And while we're on this world, it's like someone's sucked one little drop out and put it here in Brisbane, Australia for me, and in the USA for you. So here you are as this one little dot. But after your death, you go back into that ocean of energy. That's what I believe. Some people call God the source. We all have names. We want to put titles on things, which is fine. Here's my computer mouse. Here's my biro or pen, right? We all want titles. And at the end of the day, titles don't matter, says a lady with a PhD. So I got my PhD to understand what I went through. I looked at metascience. I looked into psychology. I looked into thermodynamics because I now understand when we create heat, just by doing this, the friction that we generate, that heat, that is actually energy that we can then manipulate into doing what we think about because our thoughts are that energy. The more angry we get, the more happy we get. You look at people when they're really, really excited. Woo, woo, I've just won $1 million. That sort of energy. Wow. They don't realize just how much they can do with that energy. It's when we've got to channel it into some other area. Like if we channel that into our homes, that how often, like as I said, when I was having a bad time, my car broke down, $8,000, and then my computer died, all in the same week when I got sick. Because when I got sick, I got so angry. Why am I sick? I've got to reschedule all these appointments I've got. So I got personally angry with my situation. And as a consequence of that energy building up, everything around me was affected. You walk into a room and you're happy, everybody else gets happy. That's what I like to generate. That's what I believe in, is
I,
the energy of God.
I
And we
love
all can create it.
I love that. And I think that's such a great example because a lot of people are going through a lot of things at all times. Everybody's just feeling like they're overwhelmed with whatever's going on in their life. And for someone
Yeah.
like you who's had these experiences, who knows the name of the game, I think it's interesting and consoling to go, well, she's still able to have anger and she's still not perfect all the time
I'm
in that
nowhere near
sense.
perfect.
Is that
You
part
know,
of the physical reality that we're experiencing? And
yeah.
is it okay to express that anger? And is that the whole
Yes.
point?
Of course it is, because there's always negative and positive. There's always protons, electrons, and neurons. Positive, negative, and neutral energies. We can't always just be positive. It doesn't work. Science does not allow it. So we have to have our negative days where we go 3 feet backwards, and then we go 5 foot, 5 feet forward. We have that day of, oh, yes, everything's going well for me today. But then when we take those steps backwards and you think, oh man, now this is broken down. Now I've got this bill coming in. I just broke up with my partner, all this stuff that goes on. We've got to remember to be grateful for these bad times, because the more we give that thanks and say, thank you so much for my car breaking down. Thank you so much for my computer dying. Thank you so much for that person leaving me, breaking up my friendship or whatever. Because the more we be grateful shows that we appreciate the energy shifts. And this is what heaven's about. Being grateful instead of getting angry why things happen. Because when we get angry, it is only a representation. And this is big. The reason why so many people get angry is because they are thinking about themselves with what they deserve better. That's why people get jealous, because they don't feel satisfied with their own self-worth. They're not happy with who they are, so they want what other people have, and they foolishly think when they get that, they'll feel better about themselves. So people get jealous. Oh, I love your long hair. My hair's so short and thin. Well, get over that. Because if you had my long hair, you wouldn't know the hassle it is to look after it. You know what I mean? So be grateful that you've got short hair, that you don't have, you can spend that time looking after your children, watching your favorite TV shows, going to work, doing something else. So always be grateful for every single thing that we've got, because the more I'm grateful that even I've got a computer mouse, the more my mouse works for me. And this is how we earn those brownie points in heaven, because we're always gracious. We're always thankful. And most of all, we're always loving. So anyone listening where you think, oh, my life's going down the toilet, start loving everything about you that's going wrong, and you'll realize that it's not going wrong. It's a lesson teaching you how to be a better person so you're not so conceited or selfish. People these days, look how many selfish people are out there. They think the whole world revolves around them. Why do you think there's so many people now doing TikTok videos? Because they have to get their face out there to make themselves feel good about themselves. You know? So we don't have to have other people's approval to be who we are. As Eleanor Roosevelt, famous First Lady of the USA, her famous saying, I don't care what other people think about me. What they think about me is none of my business. And when we start saying that to even our friends, you can do whatever you like, because whatever you think about me, I don't care about. Because it's your opinion. It's your life. I can do whatever I like. You can do whatever you like. And I'm not going to get offended, because look how many people now are offended. I don't get offended by what you do. You can do whatever you like. I will love you regardless. Wow. How powerful is that?
Beautifully said. And I think so many people can resonate with that message, because we are all going through those ups and those downs,
Yeah.
those highs and those lows. And I think, I mean, just think about our favorite movies and TV shows. What happens in them? There's always a tragedy, there's always a terrible event, a hurdle, and then we watch the hero overcome it and transcend what they could have never
That's
once
right.
believed that they could be.
And I say that, Dylan, every time we get pushed down, it's an opportunity to stand back up. You know, I love the Marvel movies, Captain America and Thor. I love them. But look at Captain Marvel, that movie where they're saying to her, oh, look how many times you got pushed down, you got pushed down, you pushed down. And she said, yeah. And every single time I stood up. And that's all we have to do. Stand up. Don't stay down. You know, and it doesn't matter if it's your school teacher, it's your school bully, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend, your partner, or even your mother and your father. If they push you down constantly, stand up and say, you know what? You can think whatever you like, but don't put your opinions onto me, because I don't, respect that I don't believe what you say. I've got my own thoughts. I wish I knew how to say that when I was 6 to my own parents, because they threw their philosophies at me. They condemned me every chance they got because I was a psychic. It was horrible growing up. I'm the first one to admit that I was bullied severely by my own family, who still judge me to this day. I hardly talk to any of my family. But you know what? At the end of the day, as much as I say, oh, it hurts me so much, I want to cry that my mum doesn't agree with me. But at the end of the day, she can think whatever she likes. I think whatever I like. And that's what gives me my own inner strength. That's what gives me my power, that energy to keep going every day to do what I feel is right within what I'm doing. And she doesn't know everything about me, even though when she birthed me, she's my mother. She doesn't know every single thing about me because nobody does. I'm not connected to the hip with anybody. And we put so much concern onto having a partner. I'm single. I don't need a partner because I don't need somebody else to tell me how good I am. I don't need someone in my life to say, oh, Lynda, I'm so proud of you. I do that myself. I look into the mirror and I say, you know what, girl, you're doing a damn good job today. You know? And that's where I get my own self-worth, my own ego boost. I go in and I look after myself. Like today, I've straightened my hair because, hey, I'm talking to you, but it makes me feel good. And look what happened when I was straightening my hair. The sun came out. First time in 2 days it's been raining. And the moment that I'm straightening my hair and saying, wow, damn girl, you looking good, the sun came out. What a message saying everything's going to be all right. So we have to look for our messages because we do have guardian angels, spirit guides, other angels, archangels, gods, whoever you want to call out to, your dead grandmother. They're all out there. They can all feel us because emotions are energy. So they feel us. And when we're upset, they know it. When we're happy, they know it. And when we truly need them, they do come to us and try and help. It's up to whether it's something that they can help us with. Like me getting in this house. There's other instances where people say, well, I never got my new car. But did you really need the new car? Or did you need to learn how to do without a car? So there's always a lesson there. Some people just don't get what they want because it's not what they need. And it's the needs that the angels provide for us.
That is wise advice, super profound. I think people need to marinate in what you just said there. I have a couple
Yeah.
more questions and then I'll let you get on with your beautiful day there in Australia. Do
Thank
you
you.
believe that we choose the life that we come into and the relationships that we have? And if so, do you think you chose to have a rocky relationship with your parents?
Oh, heck yes. Absolutely. You know, if I had an easy upbringing, do you think I'd be sitting here right now talking to you about how to be a better person?
No.
No. If I didn't have all these medical issues happen to me, how could I actually sit there with all the people now getting cancers and other autoimmunity diseases? How could I possibly give them hope to say, this is how you become a better loving person and get rid of it? How could I possibly? So, of course, I signed up or I allowed myself to receive all this stuff happening to me. So, everything that we're given is an opportunity to make somebody else's life better or our own life better. You know,
Yeah.
one day I remember years ago, I broke my leg. I was on crutches, so I couldn't drive. And I'm on my crutches walking up to the shops, and I met this person and I had an hour conversation with them. If I'd driven to the shops that day, I would never have had that opportunity to make that person's life better. So, of course, the universe creates this scenario where I broke my leg. Thank you so much. See, thank you so much, even though it was sarcastic, but I'm still giving thanks. Thank you so much for putting me on those crutches. So I experienced that day and made those person's life better.
I
See what
love
I mean?
I see what
Everything is an opportunity to be a better person or to make somebody else's life better.
And I think that's what we struggle with is the framing of different events and moments in our life. Like you
Yeah.
said, you got to appreciate what it's like to not have a car for those couple days while a car's in the shop.
Yeah.
And you can
Well,
completely get a new perspective and a new framing of your life and how you're
yeah.
going about it and have interactions that you would have never had you just gotten in the car and done your normal
Well,
routine.
look what happened here. I got this new unit last September, and I was always driving my daughter to school. I was always driving to the shops because that's what I usually do. My car broke down, and I rang up the bus stop, the bus people, and I said, "Where does my daughter get a bus to go take her to school?" It's right across the street. There's a bus stop 20 feet from my front door. And they said, "Oh, she gets on there and it drops her a street from her school." I said, "What?" So now she catches the bus. I feel guilty about it because I used to drive her for 12 years I've driven her to school. And then because my car broke down, I thought I've got to start walking to the shopping centre next door. So here I am now. I've got to walk across the road to the shops. But guess what? I'm now walking that 2 kilometres a day and I'm feeling so good about myself because I'm getting out in the sun, I'm talking to other people instead of driving there. I get my exercise, I'm carrying my bags home of groceries. It's amazing what I'm doing.
Wow.
So even when bad things happen, we've got to look at the good things that come out of those experiences. Absolutely.
That's an
Yeah.
incredible example, and I think so many people can resonate with that in their own life and can look at something maybe right now that they're thinking about that is currently in a framework of a bad thing and go, wait, what is the opportunity that this is allowing me to perceive in a different way and in a different habit
Yeah.
and action that I can take because of this thing that I was deeming as a bad thing,
Yeah.
but is actually a sign telling me to try this other route. I love that. Okay, final question for you. You spent 5 years on the other side. Do you miss it?
Absolutely. Every day. But, and this is a big but, I'm in no hurry to get back there. We live in a world now full of mental health, you know, and I always say if you are struggling with your life, please go and talk to somebody. There's always someone you can go and talk to about it. Professional people, as well as just your neighbor, your friend. Me, if you want to email me, I'm happy to talk to you as well. My email, hopefully you add that, Dylan.
Absolutely.
But it's on my website anyway. If people go to my website, there's my email. But in these times where we are in lowered vibrational states, it's easy to get suicidal, depressed, and anxious. And I don't want anyone ever to decide to take the shortcut to get to heaven because we all do have life lessons to learn. And believe me, if we don't learn them in this life, we do come back to learn them again. And the next life may not be as good as this one. It may be 10 times worse than this one. So I always say go with that potluck, deal with it now. Any, you know, if you are having a bad day, this is your opportunity to write things down. And I always say write things down. Write it all down. What's making it a bad day? Oh, it's raining. Well, what else can you do? Well, I'm not feeling good. Okay, then start saying that you're okay. Listen to my videos. Go and watch my videos. I've got hundreds personal development videos there. How to make your life happy. Read my book with all the exercises in it. How to be a better loving person so we don't get upset in life. We all have our bad days, but if it continues and if it is becoming a problem for you where it affects your job, your family, your friends, and most of all your own mental health, that's where you've got to be able to stand up and just say, you know what? I'm going to do something today about it. Because heaven is there. It's not going anywhere. It's an eternal, loving place that allows us to go through all this absolute turmoil and chaos for a reason. So we do appreciate it when we get there. And I always say the worse life we have, the better our next one will be. But if we shorten it out and we take that shortcut, we have to come back and do all this again. And it may not be as good next time around. So please, guys, reach out to me if you're having bad days. Watch my videos, read my books. I've got 4 books out there. And hopefully you come to realize that we've got to appreciate all this bad stuff about us because heaven is always there waiting. And I honestly can't wait to get back there because I know how great it is. You know, I'm in no hurry to leave next time either. I didn't want to leave when I was there, by the way, but it's not going to be gone. It's always there for us. So learn your lessons well. Learn how to be a positive person. So we do appreciate it when we get there. Okay?
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Lynda Cramer, for sharing your story, giving us so many powerful lessons. You are truly a blessing. Thank you for using the events that have happened to you to share and spread with the world. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to be on your channel. Thank you. You know, we can only do so much as one person, and it's when we all back each other up and we all spread our words together. Yeah, that's when we're trying to make this universe or this world a better place, right? So
Absolutely.
thank you for everything you're doing, Dylan, too. Okay?
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. And Dr. Lynda Cramer, enjoy the rest of your day.